Hi there, my name is Sandy Allnock, and I welcome you to day 3 of the 24 Tags of Christmas. This is a 6-video series, and you can find out how you can qualify to win one of the 24 tags by visiting day number 1. Today, we're going to look at these Mica watercolors. They're gold watercolors that are very shiny by a company called FineTec out of, I think, Germany. And man, are they shiny and gorgeous. You're going to love these, especially for the holidays if you have time to get some before then. The stamps I'm going to use are Snowflake Splendor, especially because this has 2 trees. One is a positive of snowflakes and the other is a negative, and we're going to use both of those in this project. And these are the tags, brand new from Simon Says Stamp, that we're going to use, and we're going to do all of this on distress watercolor paper from Ranger. I've got my Versamark, my powder tool, and my clear embossing powder ready, as well as my little clippy thing to keep my fingers from getting burned when I do the heating of the embossing powder. I'm going to start by just wetting the surface of each of these colors, because in a few minutes I'm going to be painting with them, and wetting them beforehand seems to just soften the surface a little bit and make them more pliable to be able to paint with. So I'm just going to do that and set them aside for a few minutes while we do the embossing. So I'm going to take the tree that's the positive of the snowflakes and stamp it all across the background and create a complete snowflake background out of it. So remember, when you see this later, these are the positives of the snowflakes. So the color we're going to be looking for is going to be in between the snowflakes. So I'm just going to put my embossing powder on there and heat that sucker up, and we will have an embossed snowflake background. Look at different stamps you have and how they can make a background without being a background stamp, like the snowflake tree. Here I wanted to do a spray of stars down the side of the tag, so I put all 4 stars on the block in kind of a funky arrangement and then turned it so that I could get what looks like a natural random arrangement of stars. And I'm embossing those. Next step is going to be emboss 1 star. I want it to work with just having the tree right on one side in a little while, so I wanted to have just 1 star reversed out of the background. And I embossed that one, and now we're just going to emboss the sentiments. There's 4 of them in here, and 3 of them will fit, and the other one, Merry and Bright, does not fit on my tag, so I'm just going to do the Merry word. And I'm going to emboss all of those guys. The last bit of embossing, yes, we're just embossing like mad here, is to emboss the solid tree. It has the background that will be the embossing, and the snowflakes will be the part where we're going to get the paint. And here we're going to start that painting process. So I'm trying to make sure I have enough color on the tip of my brush and kind of pressing the water out of the back of the brush. I don't want a whole lot of water on here, just enough to spread it, because I want to make sure I get lots and lots of color in here. Because remember when I said that the background is the part that's embossed, that's what's going to resist this paint. And so we want all of this beautiful, gorgeous paint in between all those spaces of the embossing. And I know it looks like a hot mess right now. Hang tight. Trust me, it's going to be beautiful when we get done with this. I'm just going to try to cover all of it. I'm using all the different colors so you can see the variety of golds that come in this set. And they're all like just slightly different from each other. Different ones are warmer, different ones are a little on the shinier side. But look at what happens when you turn it to the light. They're just really gorgeous and shimmery. This is that page that I did with all of those sentiments. And I'm going to use banners for the sentiments. So I'm just going to paint basically a stripe of various colors across the sentiments so that I have those ready to go. And you can see that the resisting is already happening there. You can see some of that. Now I'm going to just do the backgrounds, and going to get kind of washy and watercolory like I did on Monday. If you saw the video with the little W+9 Winter Pals guys, I just kind of spread some color on, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. This is the tag that had the spray of stars. So I'm just trying to create some patterns with different golds and mixing the different golds together just to see kind of what happens. And I'll wait and see once it's all done as well, whether I want to go back and touch up some areas, add some more color, that kind of thing. This one is the one with all of those snowflakes. And you can't see a whole lot right here, but I'm just painting over top the whole thing. I want a lot of color so that those snowflakes, when we do the next step, are really going to rise out of this whole background, because I want all the snowflakes to resist all of this. But when they resist with this paint, it doesn't become invisible quite yet. So I'm going to show you how to do that. For this tag, I wanted to create sort of a stone look, because I think some of these sort of look marble-ish. So I wanted to use this silvery kind of a color and make it kind of go down the sides with sort of a stripe of a gold. And I wanted that gold to be able to highlight that single star on this one. And here we have one that has no embossing on it whatsoever, so I'm going to use a different technique on this. I'm trying to put the paint on fairly thick and rich, because I wanted to try something else with it, which will be a little different than the resisting of the embossing. It's just a way to put an image into a painted background. So I'm just going to stamp onto it and then clean off the stamps in between. So I'm stamping with the little stars that come with it and wiping it off with my absorber in between to make sure I get all that paint off of the little stamp. And so now I have some stars floating in that background. And I'm just doing some kind of paint swashes on that bottom section just to make that very different from the top. Just kind of having some fun with making crazy backgrounds. The stone one didn't quite come out with enough contrast around that star, so I added another layer once it was all dry of the little gold paint. And now you can really see the star starting to pop out. Next is the magic step, and this is the poor man's ironing board. I'm using two stools. The one on the left has the iron on it and has been heating up for me, and the one on the right is a very flat stool, so it works pretty well to iron a little small piece like this. I have a couple layers of cloth underneath of it and scratch paper on top, and you can see that embossing is disappearing onto the scratch paper. But to check it and see if it's done, I touched it and it was still sticky. So if it's still tacky, you want to iron some more. It's about 30 to 40 seconds depending. I did it on high. And look at the shine that you get when you iron off all of that embossing powder. Ooh, yummy, 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 yummy. Really beautiful. So let's take a look at each of the pieces. These are the sentiments. And you can see I'm rubbing it off on my finger, trying to see if anything comes off. Does not seem to. So I think this is OWH safe. And here we have the little trees. Remember, they were embossed with the background embossed, and all the paint went into the snowflakes. So they came out very different than the other ones. So here's the one with the star spray and all that shimmer and shine created on that. Beautiful. And here's that one, the stone looking one, and I'm really glad that I went back into it with more of that gold paint, because it really makes that star shine nicely. This is the one where I stamped the stars into the paint itself, and I got luscious color. Yummy, yummy. And here is what I think is my favorite, that whole snowflake background. The snowflakes were the ones that were stamped and resisted the paint, so all the paint went in between them, and here's how it came out on the tag. So delicious. I love this. I did layer the tree after I trimmed it out by hand so that I could make it pop from that busy background. This one I decided to use a Hero Art Star Bling for the Oh Enjoy. Added my tree to that one. And next up is the one that had the little swipe down it with a stone looking background, and I decided to add some bling to that. It's Hero Arts Bling as well. All the supplies will be linked in the doobly-doo down below. And this is the one that had that little star spray down the side, and I didn't use any dimensional adhesive on that one, but it still came out absolutely gorgeous. So I hope that you will be one of the lucky winners of one of these tags, because you're going to really love seeing the shimmer and shine in real life right in front of your eyeballs. And you can go and visit the day one video to see how you can qualify to win. Here are all the videos. Day 1 is in the upper left if you need to check that one out. The other videos will all have annotations as the videos go live this week. And if you would like to see still photos of each one of these tags presented today, click on the 24 tags of Christmas words and that will take you to my blog post. In the meantime, I will wish you a very lovely day, and I will see you tomorrow when we will be stamping on craft paper, making lights glow. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.